New labels are coming for packaged foods in this country, and it's for foods that are supplemented. Registered dietitian Michelle Jaelin joins us now at the kitchen table, and we're going to talk about these foods that have been supplemented, because we've already seen over the years labels on foods that things have been fortified with something, but this is kind of different. This is an added label.
Yes, so this is a new label that Health Canada is put out there, and you might have already seen it on some products out on the store shelves. However, they'll go into full effect in January 2026, but some of them will tell you often what about foods that are supplemented, and often they're supplemented with things like vitamins, minerals, maybe caffeine, herbal extracts. These are different from fortified foods, and they are foods that people want to be aware of, that they've been supplemented with other things in addition to the food.
Okay, so let's start off with what are supplemented foods?
Yeah, so they're mostly prepackaged foods, and often you will see that they've got other things added to them, maybe vitamins and minerals. They're often things that are snack foods or things that are, they're all things that have packages to them. And often they tell you the different types of things that will be in them, and they're going to have more than one label.
Okay, and this is different than listing ingredients.
Yes, so ingredients lists and nutrition facts table have been on labels.
They have to be on.
Those have to be on. So, and what you often have with those labels is they'll tell you things, what's in the food, as well as a nutrition breakdown, but supplemented foods is an additional label on top of that. So, and often what they're supplemented with could be caffeine, herbal extracts, vitamins and minerals, amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein, and it's to keep the consumer informed.
Okay, and what types of foods are being supplemented or put on, having these labels put on them?
Yeah, so often carbonated water beverages, you might see fruit and vegetable smoothies that might have them as well as drinks. Snack bars, such as protein bars, cereal bars, those often might have them as well. Things like candy, chocolate, ice pops. So it's pretty much any kind of prepackaged food can be supplemented.
Okay, and is this a way of kind of like food manufacturers kind of get it to buy healthier things? Like is supplemented, does that mean necessarily healthier?
Not necessarily healthier, but it doesn't necessarily mean harmful either. It's a way to keep consumers informed, because supplemented foods might have a physiological effect that you might want to be aware of. So an example would be caffeinated energy drinks. Okay. So those would give a temporary alertness. It might affect your mental state. So you want to keep the consumer informed. It might not be for somebody who is a child under 14 or someone who's pregnant if it's got that extra caffeine, so it keeps someone informed, but also tells you how much to consume and not to consume to make sure you don't consume too much of a supplemented ingredient in it. So for example, if you've had 2 cups of coffee in a day already and you had an energy drink, you may not want to have that 3rd cup of coffee in the day, because that might put you over your daily limit of how much caffeine you should be having. Okay,
and you could tell by how much caffeine is on these new labels. So they're not on all supplemented foods just yet, but it's coming.
That's right. It should come soon. And these are different from fortified foods, because fortified foods are foods that have been around for a long period of time. For example, milk with vitamin D, it's something that is often fortified with calcium, because those 2 nutrients work together. Health Canada requires it to be labeled and to be fortified to prevent osteoporosis and rickets in the population, and that's different. Think supplemented food is something that isn't normally there, and fortified food is something that should normally be there.
Okay, and they've just made it a little bit stronger, fortified it.
Yeah. Supplemented food is like that additional extra thing that people should know about. But fortified foods, for example, breakfast cereals are fortified with B vitamins because they're lost in the processing. And those fortified foods, the labels have been around forever. Supplemented is something added in addition to the food that isn't normally there.
Okay. Is this going to make it more confusing for consumers?
Well, I think it might actually help, because it kind of helps you to make a more informed choice. Supplemented foods are additional things. They're not necessarily, they're different from fortified, where fortified is something that it should be there. So it should help people make a more informed choice, just so know when they're picking up a product, whether or not it would be right for them.
Okay. You've got great nutritional and dietitian knowledge, all kinds of great tips that I get from watching your Instagram page. So we'll get the link up to that up on our website at chch.com/morninglive. Thanks very much.